Okay, so welcome back to another video. In this video I'm going to be comparing the Galaxy Watch, the original one, versus the Galaxy Watch 3. And yeah, don't be confused, there isn't a second one of these. They made the Galaxy Watch Active 2 and then decided to just name this one 3, so it didn't seem like it was behind. So this is just the first one and the second one basically, but this is called 3. So yeah, just to make that clear, the left one is the third one. This is just the default strap that comes with it, so they've changed to leather. Obviously, this isn't the one that came with the original Galaxy Watch. That was like a silicon black one for like exercise type thing. So they've gone from silicon to leather, which is personally I prefer it, but it kind of depends. You can always just swap the straps out basically. So not much has changed software-wise here. So I'll go through the hardware first. The Galaxy 3 is 14% thinner and 15% lighter, which is quite good if you're using it for exercise and whatnot, because it's you won't notice it as much. It doesn't weigh you down as much. It doesn't feel as bulky. This feels very heavy and thick, which a lot of people do like, I suppose. But then there's also this. It's quite a bit lighter, a bit thinner, and yeah. So that's the main difference you'll notice when you pick them both up. Is the 3 is a lot lighter and thinner. Obviously, just from looking at it, you can see the two side buttons here. It's got the same two side buttons, but the ones on the Galaxy Watch 3 are more like a normal watch now, whereas these were actual buttons. So I think these look a lot nicer, to be fair. That's the thing that drew me to it, honestly, because it looks a lot more like an actual watch, whereas this is, I don't know. So yeah. So those are kind of like that. So we talked about the straps. The bezel also has, so it's still a rotating bezel on this one. They haven't changed that, but it's a bit more of a slick design. It's just thin, just plain, whereas the original one has arrows pointing to each little number, which, if you're a little bit OCD like me, can get a bit annoying because you want that arrow to line up with each number type thing, and then when it doesn't, you know what I mean, it gets a little bit annoying personally. But obviously that difference is very minimal. You can put bezel like cases around them as well, so you wouldn't even see that. So yeah. So now obviously the main thing with all these smartwatches is the screen even, sorry. So for the Galaxy Watch 3, there's a 41mm device and the 45mm. So the 41mm has a 1.2-inch screen and the 45mm has a 1.4-inch screen. This is the 45mm one. And then for the original Galaxy Watch, there is a 42mm and a 46mm. So this is the 46mm version of that. So these are both the biggest ones. But interestingly, even though this is 45mm and this is 46, the Galaxy Watch 3 has a 1.4-inch screen and the first one only has a 1.3-inch screen, which obviously isn't a massive difference, but it does technically mean that this device is smaller and lighter and the screen is bigger, so ever so slightly, but the difference is there. So both screens are the always on display Super AMOLED ones. They haven't really changed anything there. Nothing really needs to be changed, I suppose. What is interesting though is on the original Galaxy Watch, the glass is Gorilla Glass DX Plus, they call it, and on the newer one, the Galaxy Watch 3, it's only Gorilla Glass DX, so they've missed out the Plus version. I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what their decision for that is. So if you're someone that throws it around a lot and hits the screen, then maybe the original one's better for you. It also seems to have a bigger lip over the screen, so yeah, this one looks to be a little bit more durable there. The Galaxy Watch 3 has a couple new additions to its fitness stuff. It has a blood oxygen monitor, which apparently people want. That doesn't, I've never wanted anything like that, but apparently that's there. It's got a echocardiogram app now. I'm not sure how well that works, but it does have it. And it's got blood pressure monitoring, which I'm guessing helps towards the echocardiograms. So yeah, the main fitness things are, and it's also added 7 different workout types, something like that, but I don't know. It's very minimal changes basically. But their blood oxygen monitor is obviously hardware, and so is the echocardiogram and blood pressure monitoring, so that's all you get new on this one. So if you're a person that uses that or would like to, then the 3 is the obvious choice, because the original one doesn't even do it at all. The Galaxy Watch 3 also adds voice activation for workouts, so you can I'm guessing it uses Bixby, or either way, so you can start a workout just by saying it instead of having to go and start it yourself or wait for it to automatically detect it. They do have the same chip, the same processor in it, the Exynos one, so they haven't changed that at all. Although the Galaxy Watch 3 has double the storage. It has 8 gigabytes of storage, whereas this one only has 4, which just means you can have more faces, more apps. You can save more exercise and all that, so that's quite a big difference there, actually. Double the amount of storage on it. Galaxy Watch 3 has 1 gigabyte of RAM, whereas the original one, this one, the bigger one anyway, has 1.5 gigabytes of RAM. By the way, all these stats are for the bigger ones because they differ for the slightly smaller versions. So bear that in mind. If you're getting the 42 or 41mm versions of these two, then these specs will be slightly lower. So yeah, so the 3 has 1 gigabyte, this has 1.5 gigabytes of RAM, which I'm not sure why they've made that decision. Maybe it's to keep space for the bigger storage, but yeah, I mean, it shouldn't be too much of a problem because the Apple Watch 5, which is probably the biggest contender to this, also has 1 gig of RAM. So yeah, and this feels a lot faster to me than this does, so I'm not sure how they've managed to achieve that. But yeah, also quite a big thing as well is the battery for the Watch 3 is 340 milliamp hours, and the battery for the original one is 472 milliamp hours. So it's a reasonable increase there in battery. I've yet to use these too much, so I'm not really sure. Basically, according to sources and whatnot, this should last about 2 days, 2.5 days. This will push you through about 3. Obviously, for me, it doesn't really make a difference because I charge it every night anyway, pretty much, or every other night. So that extra day doesn't make a whole load of difference. But but the battery is bigger for some reason. I'm guessing they decided that isn't as important as some other things. They probably wanted to make it a bit slimmer. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why it's a lot lighter and it feels a lot nicer on your wrist and whatnot. And honestly, the biggest problem for me is not actually with the device itself, but what they've done with the charger. So this is a wireless charger I bought off Amazon, but the actual charger is just like the Apple Watch charger. It's just a flat pad, whereas the one for the original one is a stand. I mean, it's in the other room. Like I don't have it at the moment, but if you look it up, it's a stand. So it stands on it by itself, which is quite cool because then it can show a clock at night, and you can have it as a little night clock type thing. Whereas this is just a flat pad, which I've stuck on something else, which looks pretty shit. But it's that's quite a big. I don't know why they've decided to do that. But yeah. So overall, I guess really the Galaxy Watch 3 has a slightly leading specs overall. Definitely a much cleaner look, and it's much thinner, lighter, and this is all black as well, which I think looks really slick. Lighter, and it feels a lot better. It's lighter, but it still feels better quality, I'd say. But I guess it really is just personal preference, to be honest. It's more obviously about 150 pound more expensive at the moment as well. So I'd say, for the average user, sorry, it really doesn't matter which one you get. It's I guess it's just down to how much you want to spend and what they look like, really. I prefer this, but if you don't think this slightly slicker look is worth 150 quid, which is a very reasonable opinion, then just go for the original Galaxy Watch. You won't be disappointed either way because they're very similar. So yeah, that's all.